Okay, let's dive in. It's funny how sometimes you think resolving, well, a tricky legal issue is the end of the story,
Right.
especially for really famous people.
Right. You figure, okay, legal drama's over, moving on.
Exactly. But sometimes the real kicker isn't the court stuff, it's what happens afterwards. Especially when friendships get caught in the crossfire.
And that seems to be exactly what we're looking at here.
Yeah, today we're doing a deep dive into a situation involving, well, some household names. Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and actor-director Justin Baldoni.
All connected through that movie. It ends with us. But not in the way you might expect.
Definitely not just a red carpet situation. Our main source here is some pretty revealing info from an Us Weekly article. It gives us a peek behind the scenes, reportedly, on how Taylor Swift got tangled up in this whole legal web recently.
So what's the plan for today? What are we unpacking?
Okay, so our mission is basically this. Figure out how Swift got involved initially, look at the specific legal action against her, what happened with that, and then the really intriguing part, what the article claims happened to her friendship with Blake Lively.
It's fascinating how it all connects, isn't it? Because the core fight, the original legal battle, Swift wasn't even involved at first.
Right.
According to the Us Weekly source, this whole thing kicked off back in December 2024. That's when Blake Lively actually filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni.
Okay, and Lively's claims in that suit, based on the report, were pretty serious. Things like sexual harassment.
Yeah, sexual harassment, creating a hostile work environment, and even orchestrating an alleged smear campaign against her. It's heavy stuff.
Wow, yeah, definitely heavy. So how did Baldoni respond? The source mentions he denied it all.
He denied everything, absolutely. But he didn't stop there. He apparently came back with his own massive countermove, a lawsuit asking for, get this, a reported $400 million
$400 million.
against Lively. Against both Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. That's who he named in his countersuit.
Whoa. Okay, that really escalates things. And what was he accusing them of?
Well, his counterclaims, according to the article, were pretty wide-ranging. Stuff like civil extortion, defamation,
Uh-huh.
false light invasion of privacy, and, well, more along those lines.
Okay, just quickly on that false light thing, that's basically saying someone made you look bad, presented you misleadingly, even if the specific words weren't technically lies, right?
Exactly. Damaging someone's public image through implication. So, yeah, he leveled several of these claims against both Lively and Reynolds.
And what about Lively and Reynolds? How did they react to being sued for $400 million?
Well, the source notes they denied all of his claims and are actively trying to get Baldoni's suit against them thrown out, dismissed.
Okay, so you've got this really intense legal fight happening between Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni.
Mm-hmm. A real tangled mess.
So then how on earth does Taylor Swift, who seems totally separate from that initial conflict, get sucked into this?
It seems to boil down to one single connection point. Her song, My Tears Ricochet.
Ah, the song in the movie. It ends with us.
Exactly. That song is featured in the film.
Okay, so just having a song in the movie.
Yeah.
How did that lead to a legal action against her?
Well, this is where it gets particularly interesting. According to that Us Weekly report, earlier this month, May 2025, Baldoni's legal team actually issued a subpoena directly to Taylor Swift.
A subpoena to Taylor Swift herself. What could they possibly want from her? What was the claim?
Okay, so this part sounds pretty dramatic. The source points to a specific claim made by Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman. Apparently, Friedman claimed he spoke to someone described only as an ally of Swift.
Wow, okay.
And this ally allegedly said that Blake Lively had pushed Taylor Swift to delete more than 10 years of their personal text messages.
Like leaked texts between friends. Wow. That sounds like it could potentially touch on evidence preservation, depending on the context. So, how did Swift react to getting subpoenaed and, well, that particular accusation?
Her team responded pretty quickly, according to the source, with a statement from her representative. They basically pushed back hard, denying she had any real significant involvement with the movie itself.
Right, beyond the song. And they were really specific about what she didn't do, weren't they?
Extremely specific.
Yeah.
The statement, as reported in the article, laid it out clearly. Swift never set foot on the set.
Okay.
She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film and never saw an edit or made any notes.
So really drawing a line.
A very clear line. They even added she didn't actually see the movie until weeks after its public release. Why? Because she was on her global tour throughout 2023 and 2024.
Right, the Eras tour was massive, so her only link, reportedly, was just allowing them to use that one song.
My Tears Ricochet, yeah. And the source made a point of noting that, like, 19 other artists also licensed songs for the film. She wasn't unique in that respect.
Okay. And did her rep say anything about why they thought she was being subpoenaed?
Oh, yeah. They didn't hold back. They characterized the subpoena as being designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case.
Oof. That's a direct shot at Baldoni's legal strategy,
Yeah.
calling it clickbait.
Pretty much accusing them of trying to leverage her fame for headlines.
Okay, so you have this huge legal fight. Swift gets dragged in with a subpoena. This really serious claim about deleting texts comes out. Her team fires back saying it's just for show. What happened next? Does she actually have to comply with the subpoena?
Well, that's the next big development. According to the U.S. Weekly source, the subpoena against Swift was actually dropped just recently, May 22nd, 2025.
It was dropped. Just like that. Why?
A source described as close to the situation told the magazine it was dropped because information was voluntarily provided to Baldoni's legal team.
Information was provided voluntarily. Do
Yeah.
we know what information?
The excerpts we have don't specify what was provided, unfortunately. Just that apparently something was given that made the subpoena unnecessary in their view.
Huh. Okay. So, bottom line, Taylor's out of the immediate legal hot seat. How did Blake Lively's side react to this? I mean, the subpoena against her close friend being withdrawn.
Lively spokesperson reportedly put out a statement. They said she was pleased that Baldoni's team had withdrawn what they called their harassing subpoenas, plural, interestingly, against Swift and her law firm.
Harassing subpoenas. Okay, so they're echoing that sentiment. Strong words. Did they add anything else?
Yeah, the spokesperson apparently added that Lively's team had supported the efforts of Taylor's team to quash these inappropriate subpoenas.
Ah, so they're saying they were backing Swift up behind the scenes.
Right, and that they'll continue to stand up for any third party who is unjustly harassed or threatened in the process. So publicly, they position themselves as allies to Swift in this specific instance.
All right. So the legal part is resolved for Swift. Subpoena gone. How is Taylor herself reportedly doing?